What's up? All right, so we're doing this look that is inspired by this painting that I saw by Lucas David. So obviously I had to pop in some contacts. These are, I think they're called Innocent White by Desio. So I'm gonna prime my face with this Lorac Glass Skin Primer. Basically, I'm gonna be using some heavy shit on my face, so I wanna make sure that I'm like protecting my skin. So I was previously moisturized, and then I wanted to just go in and like, just make sure I'm creating a barrier between my skin and all the heavy shit we're gonna put on it. Okay, so I tried to glue down my eyebrows with a glue stick, and this did not go well. So I accidentally purchased these really shitty ones on Amazon, and I got like a fucking box of them. So I don't recommend them. They are not good. They are absolutely terrible, actually. They basically like, it seemed like they were working, but they just kind of like pill up. I've heard that the purple ones are the best, like the legit like glue stick purple ones that dry clear are really, really good. Don't get these ones. So I tried to make it work, but it really didn't. So I wanted to cancel out the color of my actual eyebrow, so I used the LA Pro Conceal. This is in light ivory, but I've already talked about this. It's basically like a peach on my skin tone. And this is where I saw things start to go wrong, because when I was like pressing the products into the glue, it was just like pilling up and being terrible. And like the more I touched it, the worse it got. So I kind of just went with it. And honestly, the great thing about this makeup look is like the messier it is, the cooler it is. So you do not have to worry about precision, which is why I wanted to kind of speed through this. So I'm using the white Locket concealer from KVD Beauty. And this is what I'm going to use as my base. I wanted to use something that was like really meant for my face to start off with. It's also like just an incredibly white concealer. But you can see that it's like, it's really just not working with my brows. So if you do want to do that, maybe watch a tutorial of someone who actually knows what they're doing when they're getting rid of their brows. But so I'm basically just going to be placing this like all over my face, kind of just like building up the white color. You could also just use like a really light foundation if you have one that you accidentally bought and just happen to have. Now that I have my light base, I want to go in and just like basically build up those highlights. So I'm going to be, you know, kind of like highlighting my face the way I typically would. And I totally forgot that this like Real Techniques makeup sponge, I don't know if they changed it. I was actually talking to a makeup artist about this recently, but I remembered liking this sponge, but it was like so hard. Like it was really rough on my skin. Also, why is it so gigantic? Anyway. All right, so I'm gonna be using this white powder. This is Sugar Cookie from Huda Beauty. This is like basically meant to be a baking powder. So I'm using this to set my face and then just kind of like building up the like highlighting in basically like the center of my face, anywhere that I want to set. So again, what I really like about this makeup look is that you don't have to worry about like really caking it on, because it's supposed to be like kind of goth, kind of like dismantled, a little bit messy. It's gonna look really, really good if you have like a bunch of different layers. Like don't feel like you can't layer creams on top of powders at this point. Like we're getting artistic here, all right? We're treating this as a painting, so feel free to be like multimedia or mixed media or whatever, you know? Okay, I can't remember the name of this brand, but I use this freaking contour palette all the time for Halloween looks. It's so perfect because it's got these really amazing like gray tones. Basically, anytime I do like a Halloween look, this is the palette that I'm using, and I highly recommend it. So I will be linking everything down below because I know I'm not going like super into depth about the products. I'm basically going to be going back and forth between that like cool gray color that I showed you and then some of the peachy colors to basically like just kind of lay out the mid-tones. So I am genuinely treating this like a painting. So we started off with our like basic white shade, and then I'm going in and sketching out where the contours are, like choosing one middle shade and then kind of like placing it all throughout, the same way that you would a painting if you happen to be an artist. So going in and sketching out some of the contours, laying in some of the shadows, and this is the best way to attack this kind of thing. So you can see that I'm looking down at the image quite a lot, and then just like really, really lightly like sketching out those things. Any little like brush stroke that I see, or little mark, little shadow, whatever. I'm basically going to be like building them up. So I'm starting off with those midtones, placing them down where I want them, blending them out a little bit, and then like slowly building up the contrast of the makeup in that area. The nose was my favorite part. I had so much fun doing this. It like made my nose look so different, which you can obviously see. All right, and clearly from the eyes, like I said, messy is perfect. So I'm not even really like worried about blending. I'm just kind of like creating those shapes. Again, just like sketching out those middle tones. But you can see that basically the theme here is kind of like grays, some peachy stuff, white. It really starts to come together slowly. So like if you're watching this right now and you're kind of like watching me paint my face, especially at the beginning, you're kind of like, what the fuck is this? Like what? It just looks like bruises, whatever. But as the video goes, you will start to see it all come together, and I do become like a total painting. Okay, so now I'm going to be using this, I believe it's from BH Cosmetics. It's one of their pro palettes. I'm going to be using this black eyeshadow. Obviously any black eyeshadow will work, but this is where I'm going to start really building up that contrast. So I'm really focusing on the shape that I'm seeing in that image, but again, I do not care about making it blended. This is like one of the reasons that I love these kinds of looks for Halloween, and that's because it's super messy, it's quick, it's actually kind of easy. Like you could simplify this, just take little pieces of it if you don't want to do this whole thing, because obviously it's kind of a lot. But the other great thing about it is that like as the night goes on, it will probably, like some of it will wear off, and if it does, it looks better. Like it's supposed to look like worn and undone and messy. So now obviously you can see that I am going in with detail brushes. Again, everything that I used will be linked down below. And I'm starting to go in with those darker shades and really create, like build up that contrast. So I like to start this off with a powder to slowly sketch everything out. Again, I think the most important thing when it comes to like creating an artistic look, or even if you're just doing your makeup regularly, layering is going to create just the most depth and the most interesting look. Going in with a powder first allows you to be like a little bit more messy. It allows you more mistakes. And then building it up with like, say, a gel liner or a liquid eyeliner afterwards, or something like that's more creamy, is going to intensify those darks. And it just creates so much depth in the look. I remember watching Mario do Kim Kardashian's makeup, and one of his things when he was doing her eyeliner was like starting off with a shadow and then going in with a kohl liner and then going in with a liquid liner, and it was like a lot of layers. But not only does it stay forever, it has that depth, and when you look at it, it just looks like super smoky and flawless, and it's hard to place like why, and the reason is that it isn't just one product. So keep that in mind, especially if you are interested in doing these creative looks. Play with creams, play with powders, play with layering them on top of each other. Like this is where you break the rules. So now, especially here on the neck, I'm kind of going back and forth between middle tones, dark tones, and then layering light tones on top of that. And that is how I'm creating just like a more realistic look. I'm kind of like playing with the shading. And then for the brows, I am slowly like sketching them out with powder to begin with, again, so that I can create that depth. And then I have this Marron palette, which has powders, creams, and then it has like water activated paints, which is what I'm going to be using. I think this brush is actually like a Sigma skincare brush, but it's just like such a perfect paintbrush. So you just put like a tiny bit of water on those water activating paints, and they basically just become like legit paints. Like it's like you're painting with acrylic or painting with watercolor or something on your face. So this is where I'm going to go in and start building up like way more of those shadows and more dimension. And you can't forget about your ears, dude. It really like makes the whole look. I'm using this Haus Labs liquid liner to really deepen up the eyes. And then I'm also going to be using it to line my actual eyes. So once again, just building up the contrast. And then for the lips, I'm using this shade by MAC. I can't remember what it's called, but again, it'll be linked down below. But I love this black liner. I actually don't even know if this is a lip liner or not, but it's perfect as a lip liner. It works so well. So I'm obviously just like following the painting, the shape of the painting. She has like a really, really accentuated Cupid's bow, like very pointy. And then I am going to be going in with this ColourPop liquid lipstick. It's black. I think it's called Friday. It's my favorite black liquid lipstick though. You don't have to wear mascara for this look. Or like, I guess if you wanted to do falsies, you could really glam it up. But I decided that I did want to apply mascara just to kind of like fill in any gaps and make it feel like maybe a little bit more glam. I don't know if it really did anything. So now I'm picking up the white from the Marron palette. Again, this is the water activated paint. And I took some liberties here because there weren't like a ton of stark highlights in this piece, but I thought that I don't know, I kind of wanted to conceal my brows a little bit more, and I wanted to add a little bit more contrast and just kind of like experiment with strokes. So now I'm kind of just like playing, honestly. I'm improvising. I'm throwing down some brush strokes to really round it out and kind of intensify those highlights. And then I thought it would be really nice to get my hand in there as well, but I didn't really like pay that much attention to it. So I was just kind of looking at like what might be in the image in like the on screen. This is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know if you want to see like more painting, artistic looks. I do love doing them, but I can't do talk throughs because I need to be creative. I need to like improvise, you know? All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.